aligning with nature. Been doing that all day. Connecting with this super flower blood moon. Repotted my plants. Just been under the sun. Listening to the birds. And I was called to do a reading. A nature reading. See what Mother Nature has to say about this energy. And the guidance that she would have us know. And I may share it. It's the first time doing an outdoor reading. So that should have some potency in itself, let alone this energy. So I will be pulling from my traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, my Lenormand traditional deck, Moonology, my Green Witch, and 2 crystal decks. So this is an alignment with nature, Mother Nature, with minerals, with source, with the as above, so below energy that is so very potent right now. They are cleansed and now connecting with Orgone energy. So let's see what comes through. Starting with tarot. I thank you, angels. I thank you, ancestors, for your guidance, for your presence. And aligning with this energy, this very rare supermoon, this lunar eclipse, this sixth sun, the solar flares. What would you have us know? You would have us know. I'm getting guidance to pull one more. Thank you, Spirit, for this potent energy and the guidance as to what it's all about. And thanks to our alignment with nature and these tools that are aligned with nature to help provide us with clarifications, confirmations, and clarity. Thank you, Spirit. First card that came out was the Hierophant, then it was the Chariot, Page of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune. Hierophant is a 5 card. It's a 5-year. It's a lot of shifts happening, which is what this energy is all about, and shifts in regards to traditions, in regards to what is conventional, expectations and ways that we feel we need to conform or have conformed. With everything happening with COVID and the vaccine, it's definitely coming through with this energy in regards to us just going with the tides and the fear-mongering that's been imposed on us in regards to all of this, that make us feel in some ways like we don't have a choice but to do what they say in order to get our life back, in order to feel safe again. So there are definitely expectations of us to conform, and the Chariot is dictating movement and a change. It's a journey, it's an action that, in relation to the Hierophant, I believe is a moving away from traditions, from conformity. This energy is very much about these old systems falling away and us moving away, driving away the actual systems, and as well driving away from these systems. So it is not just about us making the choice to depart or not participate in these traditional conformities, these norms of society. It is also about us actually driving them themselves out and away and creating incredible change. This oftentimes, the Chariot is representative in a materialistic way in some ways of a new vehicle, but the new vehicle on a symbolic notion is also about a new way of being, a new action plan, a new transport. And this energy, these galactic waves that are coming through to give us these upgrades and this ascension is very much a new vehicle. This is very much, the yin and yang energy as well here. In regards to the Chariot is often like a choice that we have as well of an old earth and a new earth, and that is also represented in the Hierophant, given the traditional old concepts of things, and the Chariot moving away from these old ways and going into the new earth energy. Page of Wands. Our wands are creativity, it's fire energy, fast-paced. The wands are the fastest, quickest moving suit in the tarot, and it's really showing a youthful, brand new kind of concept of growth and of change and of evolution. Kind of even a curiosity in some ways, in thinking of an idea that's fresh and that we're excited about, and again aligning it with the creative energy that wands do represent, and the fire energy, which is again about action and fast-paced and quickly moving. This is about what inspires you, what makes you feel creative. This came up a lot in processing this energy in regards to taking the time to do what you lose track of time doing, what makes you feel creative, what makes you feel refreshed and renewed, and like you're creating something that you're for once kind of feeling like you are dictating what you're going to do with your time and with your energy and with your creativity. Oftentimes, especially in regards to the Hierophant, we're stuck in a rut, we're stuck in doing the job, doing what's expected of us. Again, the Hierophant is very much about expectations, and this energy is very much saying moving away from those expectations and then coming towards. Again, we're doing this, thank you Spirit for this movement of the cards coming through in this particular order of the old way and moving away from the old way, going into this fresh new energy of creativity, of being excited about something, a new project, a new idea. The page is very youthful energy, so it also kind of is reminding us to remember what makes us feel young at heart, what makes us feel like we're doing something that is our passion, that we are joyful when we do it, instead of just sticking to what we're supposed to do, what is expected of us, what is traditional, what is responsible, all of these things. That's not this energy is not at all about this Hierophant traditional energy. It is about, again, moving away, getting into a new vehicle, getting into a new transport, and moving away from that energy, destroying that old system with this creative system, with this creative ideal. What I'm getting as well is in regards to being an entrepreneur and thinking about what it is that you do that you're passionate about, and finding ways to make money for you, so that way you can not need to stick to whatever that old way is that sometimes makes us feel like we don't have a choice because we need to pay the bills, because we need to take care of our families. We move away from that ideal, we move away from the fear of that, and trust in this creative source, and knowing that as well is what is going to help us generate the revenue that we need. And then Wheel of Fortune is completely bringing that in right there in regards to luck, and in regards to fortune, in regards to the gamble, right? It is definitely feeling like a gamble for you to think about, this is what I know, this is what is natural and natural in a sense of everybody's doing it, right? Like of course I'm going to stay in my job, of course, and by no means is this like just quit your job, boom boom, and then just start doing what it is that you want to do. But it's about finding the vehicle, finding your way to it. This is a progression in a sense, right? So thinking about if this is not for you, but there's things here, whatever's under this list. You can literally look at this reading just in these 4 cards and list out what is expectations, what are traditions, what are conformities, what are norms of society, what is, demands of you, all of these things. You can literally think of those things as the Hierophant, expectations and definitions, and then as the Chariot, you can literally list in terms of what would you need to do to deviate, right? When we're talking about a lot about releasing and replacing, this is the release. This is what you have to think about, is what you want to replace it with, and this is what the action actually ends up being. You have to think about what those things are that you want to release in terms of what's traditional, what's normative, what is expected, and again, the conformities of things. And then you think about here, okay, now don't just focus on the release. What do I want to change? That what is the opposite of those things on this list? And then you list those things out, and then it's like, all right, now how do I actually make these things come to fruition? What is it on this list that over here can make sense? So if you put down this list here of the things that you're passionate about, then you can now literally list the strategy of what it is that you need to do to make that happen, to create that brand, to create that, creative engine, to engage more in it. Again, talking about, releasing and replacing. Instead of just thinking about what you want to release, just focus on what it is that you want to do instead, and just do that instead. And when you allocate your time accordingly, that again is what this energy is telling you, what the Chariot energy is telling you, is to create a new vehicle, is to make the change, to make different movements. You know what this is, do different. So doing the different, when you actually list all of those things out, and then in the action oriented of it, you decide, this is what I need to do, this is what I want to engage my time in, and then you actually start doing that. When you start doing that, these things automatically come out of your sphere. You are automatically not doing them because you're doing this instead. So you don't even have to worry about removing yourself from this. It's automatically going to remove itself. All of this came up in the channeling that I shared yesterday with the queens. All of this came up. It's all here, in very, very clear detail. Thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, angels. Thank you, nature. And again, Wheel of Fortune, we've got the 10 card. It's a completion card. It's a full cycle, good fortune, a turning point. All of this is here, exactly saying that, a turning point of literally spin the wheel and take the gamble and take the risk, because if you know what this is and you don't want it, and then you know what you need to do to actually drive away from this thing, and you know what these things are that make you actually feel happy, feel joy, and that you could make money from if you just invest more time and energy and money potentially into this thing, then you are taking a chance. But you're taking a very, very good chance, and the good chance is showing you the Wheel of Fortune, that there is luck in this gamble, there is good fortune in this gamble. Life is a risk at all times, but there is a higher likelihood of you actually having what you want come to fruition because you're doing what you want and not what is expected of you. Let's see how Lenormand connects with that energy. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, angels. Thank you, ancestors, for this clarity, for this confirmation. I ask you for 2 or 3 cards to align with these, to either confirm, redirect in this channeled inspiration and interpretation. Ship came through. The ship is travel, it's a journey, it's moving. It's the Chariot. It's moving away. Thank you, angels. Thank you, ancestors. Wow. This is a general reading, that I'm not aligning with myself specifically. It's just this energy that anybody can connect with, because it is what I'm programming it for and asking for and aligning is what is the message of this energy, what is happening right now with all of this, and what does it mean. And it can definitely, it's resonating on a personal level very, very heavily. So I'm grateful, and I hope that if I do share it, See, this is, look at this. Oh my goodness. The ship is the chariot. The child is the page of wands. Wow. This is the journey. This is the movement. And the movement is, again, I mentioned that inner child of remembering what it is that brings you joy, that brings you passion. The innocence, creativity, doing what is fun, being in nature, aligning. The ship, again, it's, you know, the waters may be rough, but if you align it with your childlike spirit and energy, like children are so resilient, you know, they bounce back. I think about, you know, Kaya with her sprained wrist or her broken wrist, and I'm like, she's so bright, she's so happy through it. She's, you know, and I'm struggling more than she is. So we do, as adults, very much have to remember what it feels like to be a child, to bounce back, you know, especially when there's this kind of monumental move and shift and change and journey, you know. And again, the chariot is about the movement. This is literally a vehicle, finding a new vehicle, and potentially rough waters. But if we can't navigate rough waters with that silver lining aspect, with that, you know, joyfulness, with remembering what it means to play, and to even the page of wands is oftentimes, again, youthful, immature kind of naivete. Just kind of throw yourself at this project, at this idea, and say, let me spin the wheel, take the gamble, see what happens. That is what a child does. You know, even the accident with Kai is, you know, she was playing. At the end of the day, she was having a good time, and she was throwing caution to the wind and swinging and doing what she does. And life happens, but we got to still get back up and still figure out what it is that we want to do and what's worth it. And knowing at the end of it what we have to risk, what we have to lose, especially if we don't realign with our child spirit to make what it is that we want to come to fruition. Wow. Okay, thank you. Next cards.